She didn't come out, but now he knew where she lived. So he'd just come back early tomorrow and be here when she came out for Whistlepig Wednesday. When George came back, the sun was barely up. And Sherry wasn't up at all. He got in position so she couldn't get out without him knowing. Then he fell asleep. Just like every year, Mr. Glass showed up early, all alone, and set up his video camera.
Sounds like Sherry has a cold. I better do this fast and quietly and not wake her up. All done. If she were awake, she would have seen her shadow.
Have a fun morning?
It was an unusual Whistlepig Wednesday this morning. Watch.
George?
Here's what Mr. Glass had to say about being caught on video holding up a monkey in Endless Park.
You've got to admit it was unique. Unique's not bad.
So, summer over? Did he see a shadow? Are you sorry you held up a monkey?
Now, today doesn't count, because it was only a monkey shadow.
Now George definitely had to see what made that Whistlepig shadow so special.
There'll be a do-over tomorrow morning, a unique Whistlepig Thursday.
The next morning, George brought Hundley and Yoki along to keep him alert.
Oh, please, no monkeys. It's Whistlepig time. Yeah. Oh, no. Do-over! No, do-over! Do-over! Oh, no.
No one knew where Compass came from.
Hi, you're a monkey, aren't you? Could you please send Sherry out? There, Whistlepig. See?
Now that he'd seen it, Sherry's shadow was just a shadow.
You want to know how a shadow can predict the change of seasons? It's not magic or science. It's just a fun thing people do. It's unique.
If George knew that, he wouldn't have gotten up so early. George went home and went back to bed. But he needed an extra blanket because it started getting colder today.
I think we're in good shape to win this contest, Hunley.
I think that would be wonderful.
You do?
The more buildings where tenants recycle, the better. And maybe you could start some reuse programs like we have. Want to see?
Sure.
We reuse everything we can think of. Shopping bags, magazines. We never throw out packing peanuts.
It's so organized.
Anything to make the planet a little neater. You really have collected a lot.
Have I? I have.
Nobody got their newspapers this morning. Weird.
There you are. We have a food thief in the building. I got a grocery delivery and someone took half of it.
What?
Someone took my paint pails. How can I mix paint with no pails?
Where are the Wiki Pizza coupons? They're always on the front table.
Huh?
My shampoo!
My pails! I need my pails!
I don't understand. What?
Pizza coupons.
Oh, boy. George?
Those things are unused. Did you take them just to win the recycling contest?
No, I don't understand. I don't know how they got here.
Recycling is about saving the planet, not winning a shiny trophy.
Oh, of course. I don't know how these extra papers and containers got here.
How can I
We
mix
have a
paint with
food
no
thief in the
pails?
They're
building.
always on the front table.
I think I know where the extra recycling came from. George, you recycle things after you use them.
People need to read their papers and eat their food first.
Then they go in the recycling bin.
Why, thank you, George.
Since some of our recycling was, unfairly obtained, I think the best thing is for us to share.
Oh, that is so sweet. After you're done, you can come and polish my trophy.
We may have tied this year, but next year will be another story.
Oh, yes, our building will win outright.
Oh, really?
Yes, we've already ordered larger bins for every floor.
Really? That's not recycling, George.
George hated to disappoint the chef. He always looked so happy on his box. There had to be a way to tell the seeds apart. Maybe different color seeds produce different plants. fell through that bowl with all the holes in it. George wondered if what worked for yellow would work for brown and white. Sorting by both color and size, George ended up with 6 piles of different seeds. There were 6 packets, too. George had unmixed the mixed-up seeds. Now he could plant the garden. But George didn't know where to plant the seeds. Which ones were the corn? Which were tomatoes? And he forgot about those hungry pigeons. Nobody could tell what would come from a seed just by looking at it. Those watermelon seeds matched the seeds in one of his piles.
That's going to be one crazy salad, George.
There were seeds inside the pepper. And they matched a pile too. It happened again with the cucumber, the tomato, the eggplant, and even the corn.
George, Professor Wiseman has a whole book about seeds. Wow.
Well, you don't need my help. You've got a monkey.
Well, I'll be. That's the last one. What should we do with the extra seeds?
George and the man with the yellow hat took excellent care of the roof garden together.
George.
Until at last, the vegetables were ready to be picked.
Everyone, please thank my friends for the delicious vegetables you are eating tonight. For you, eggplant parmesan a la Giorgio. And friend.
Oh, so good. Oh.
They say the best meals come from a chef's heart, but sometimes they come from the roof of a monkey. The wind that blew the leaves must have moved the clouds, too. George definitely needed to study wind. A flag showed which way the wind was blowing, but George didn't own a flag. He did, however, know someone who owned socks. always know which way the wind was blowing clouds. But how fast were they moving? The cricket's noise was fast again. It always had more to say when the weather was warm.
George, dinner! Hey, is that one of my socks? Well, I guess it's a windsock now. That's right. And the harder the wind blows, the faster the pinwheel turns. You are turning into a regular weather monkey. Say, tomorrow, would you like to visit the Einstein Pizza weather station? They have lots of cool stuff that helps predict weather.
This is it. The most modern weather equipment in the world.
How could they forecast weather here? They didn't have socks or pinwheels or crayons, not even a cricket.
Radar tells us where it's raining, and satellites show us Earth from space. So we know where all the clouds are.
Ooh.
Then this computer tells us what the weather will be.
Or it would. Except that's yesterday's picture. We can't find our satellite.
You lost your satellite?
Well, space is very big.
And now the mayor's coming by to see if he can play golf today. He hates getting caught in the rain.
So did monkeys.
Without satellite data, our computer can't forecast. It's just absolutely hopeless.
What? Where is he going so monkey fast?
I think he wants to predict the weather for you.
There were storm clouds in the horizon. But the wind was blowing them away. George checked his drawings. The sky was red last night. And now with the cricket's fast chirps, George knew it would be a warm day.
So, will it be okay to golf?
They say that some animals can predict the weather. Maybe George is one of them.
Professors,
Mr. Mayor,
what's the verdict?
we have it on the best authority that this afternoon will be perfect for golf.
Splendid! Isn't modern technology wonderful? Say, why don't you join me? One of the finest days I've ever seen. You were right. Thank you.
George was right.
George, perhaps tomorrow you could help us find our satellite.
George would have to think about that. The sky was telling him tomorrow might be a perfect day for a picnic.
That's not another rainbow. It's the rainbow's reflection in the water. And we can't chase the rainbow anymore. Unless we can cross the river. I can't leave trail markers for Steve on the water.
The rocks in the country look almost like cookies. is a cookie. Dog and monkey prints and sister prints. Betsy? A for real moose. Uh-oh. Nice, Moosey. Help!
Back away from the moose slowly and don't look him in the eyes.
Can we run away now?
No, that might make him charge us. This is the proper way to flee a moose. You're lucky I was out practicing for my Galapagos County Tracker Guide Rainy Day Pathfinding badge.
Can you help me find my little sister, Charky and George? They're lost.
The proper thing to do is get adult help. Come on, the village is close.
Steve, where are George, Betsy, and Charky?
Oh, they ran off and got lost, and I saw a moose from way too close up. Wow, a rainbow. Say, George saw a rainbow right before he ran off.
I bet he went to see the gold at the end of the rainbow. I can help him get home. You have any helium balloons?
We're getting close to shore. Here's our chance to get out.
No matter how far they traveled, the rainbow still seemed far away. And now it was fading.
Once the sun sets, there won't be any more rainbow, George. Maybe you should lead us home. Are we lost? There really is gold shining at the end of the rainbow. Ooh.
That day, George really found treasure at the end of the rainbow.
George! Over here!
Here they come.
Well, this is an adventure we couldn't have back home in the city.
You guys are city kids? But George is a city kid.
We're city kids just like George.
I don't think so.
Oh, it's true. We moved there when we were little.
Oh, that explains it. George is a real city kid. You just live there.
On sunny, snowy days, George usually got up bright and early. But this day, he discovered that Bill had gotten up even brighter and earlier.
Hey, George! Snow blocks. I'm building a house out of snow, although the correct term is igloo. Yep. I'm trying to earn my Sprout badge in winter camping. And to do that, I have to build an igloo and sleep in it overnight.
Ooh.
Suddenly, that was exactly what George wanted to do. Build an igloo and sleep in it, just like Bill.
You want to help me? And sleep in the igloo, too? Why not? Let's get started. George, that's not the proper technique. Guess I better show you. City kids probably don't know much about non-mortar construction. See? The first thing you do is mark a circle in the snow. That's your foundation. Then you take the biggest blocks and fit them together like this.
Bill showed George how to build up the igloo walls block by block, making sure that the top layer overlapped the bottom.
Yep. And when we're all done, we can just smooth out the inside.
As they built it up, the igloo started to look like a volleyball cut in half.
See? We keep shaping these blocks and put them all the way around until there's just a small hole left in the center. And we fill that with a large block called a keystone. You have to cram it in so it'll hold the walls in place. Now, I'll just make a few air holes. And once we fill all these cracks with snow, it'll stay pretty warm. Yep, we're done. Let's go check it out.
George was so excited. He had never been in an igloo before. The inside of the igloo was smaller than George thought. He had wanted a fun igloo. One that was big enough for a bed and a tuba and his friends. Sort of like his room, only better.
You want to build your own igloo? Sure, I wish I could help you, but I gotta fill up these cracks and then do my chores.
So George started on his second igloo of the day with help from the man with the yellow cap. But this time, he built it wider and taller and brought in some furniture.
Wow, good window. Are you sure you want to spend the night in here, George? Okie doke. I guess it's time to make the cocoa.
Hey, George, how's it? Whoa, this is huge. You put a bed in here? And a sofa? Wow. The only thing is, it might get cold at night. The bigger the igloo, the colder it gets.
George wasn't worried. He figured he'd just wear his coat to bed. Today was a busy day at George's apartment. Professor Wiseman was coming to dinner, and the man with the yellow hat wanted everything to be just right.
I have an idea. Why don't I finish getting the apartment ready and you go to the store? Great. Let's make a list. Okay, I need carrots for my famous carrot cake. Cucumbers for my famous cucumber soup. And apples for my famous bowl of apples. Here's a bag and some money, George, and have fun. Bye-bye.
When George got to their favorite store, it was closed. The grocer was on his annual fishing trip.
Welcome to Hua Mai Grocery and Takeout. It's our grand opening.
Our first customer. We are selling Vietnamese food. Please, try a sample. Cha yo. It's a spring roll.
Come on in and, Uh-oh. Clean up on aisle 3.
George thought the food looked delicious, and the store looked beautiful. But the fruits and vegetables looked different somehow. This was green and long and bumpy. Must be a cucumber. Next on the list, red round apples. Now this looked like an apple. Now all George needed to find were the carrots. Were these carrots? George didn't know for sure, but they looked like carrots and were bunched up like carrots.
Customer number 1. You ready? Let's see. You have a kokwa, some fat too, and a few tak lu. Very good choices. Here you are. Thank you very much. How was school today, Mai?
Great, Dad. But who was that?
Our very first customer.
Our first customer was a monkey? Cool.
Oh, great! Did you find everything? Oh. But this is a pomegranate, George, not an apple.
Huh?
Yes, and I don't know what these other things are. Thanks, George.
George decided that this time he'd ask for help.
You're back. Hi. My name's Mai. Can I help you? Fatu, taklu, and kogwa. Yum! But didn't you just buy these? Is that an alligator? I'm sorry. I can't read this.
In spring, good gardeners can't wait to get things growing.
Need any more help? Okay. I have to go help Professor Wiseman design her new terrarium. Bye, George.
George had his seed system set. First he dug a hole, then he planted some seeds, then he covered the hole. Compass had a seed system too, but he didn't plant seeds. He ate them. He thought it was awfully nice of George to put out a pigeon buffet. Compass thought this restaurant had weird rules. Maybe they weren't supposed to eat the seeds until George was finished. Or maybe you weren't supposed to eat while George was around. George wished there were two of him. And then he remembered Farmer Rankins protected his garden from the birds with a scarecrow. So George decided to make a scarecrow too. Only, it wasn't very scary. Maybe the birds were only scared away when something was moving. That was it. But how could he get it to move? He also needed more seeds. Seeds were easy. Making a scarecrow move was hard.
I heard a guy named Quixote opened a new bakery up ahead. Hungry?
It was the biggest pinwheel George had ever seen.
Pretty neat, huh? It's a windmill.
Yup. It grinds my grain for me. Let me show you how it works. When the wind blows, it pushes the sails, just like wind pushes a sailboat along the water. But since sails are attached to the mill, instead of moving forward, they spin around.
George's friend Allie really flipped for flips, even when she wasn't doing the flipping.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
The annual gymtastic tournament was right up Allie's alley.
Next year, that's gonna be me. Here comes another one.
The gymtastic tournament was for gymnasts of all ages. There were girl gymnasts and boy gymnasts and a bug gymnast?
Next up is that bundle of dynamite. George? On the floor, Matt. Well, I mean the balance beam. I guess I mean the uneven parallel bars. Or do I? I mean, George, on the rings there. Yeah, I give up.
You!
He didn't mean to disrupt things.
You are a natural-born gymnast. You've got to come to my gymnastics class.
Huh? Oh, you teach gymnastics? I want to come too.
Me too.
Really?
Do you know how strong your arms have to be to do gymnastics? Imagine how far a guy could throw a newspaper.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic! See you at the community center tomorrow for an introduction to the class. 3 o'clock.
See ya! Oh, I bet we'll be tumbling in no time.
Cool. Look at all this gym equipment.
But before you can tumble, you have to stretch.
Stretching is one of the 3 S's of gymnastics.
Ow! Stretching. S number 1.
And stretch and stretch.
I got it! I guess stretched muscles are more bendy.
And walking on a balance beam was tricky too.
Oops!
Find a spot to focus on. If you stare at something still, it helps you be still too.
I'm doing it!
So, when do we start with these puppies?
Go ahead. Give it a try. The rings take a lot of strength. We'll work our way up to it. You can practice with a bench until your back, arms, and chest are strong enough to pull you up. This is a good time to talk about our other 2 S's. Safety and supervision. You should always have someone spotting you.
It was George's first spring day back in the country. And already, he was starring in a movie.
Hiya, Mr. Rankins.
Hi, Bill. George.
Okay, George. You go in first and see if there are any baby ducks running around. I'll follow with my camcorder. This will make a great scene for my science project about baby animals. This is Bill, bringing you baby ducks, live from the Rankins bar. Hey! We're in luck. The ducklings haven't hatched yet. They're still inside their eggs. Sure, George. Look. You and me and other mammals come into the world as babies. But birds, ducks for example, come as eggs. Yep, Dumpling's babies will hatch from these eggs as long as she sits on them to keep them warm. Sprouts on her, George. If she doesn't sit on them, they'll get cold and never hatch. Oh, my battery died. I'll have to get another one. Don't let the eggs hatch without me, okay?
Where was Dumpling going? She was supposed to be keeping her eggs warm. The eggs were still warm, but if Dumpling didn't come back soon... George decided that if Dumpling wasn't going to sit on her eggs, he'd have to do it. Carefully. Well, sitting on a nest, hatching eggs, is actually pretty boring.
Thanks for loaning me a battery, sir.
No problem. I think that's great you're filming a duck hatching. No!
This I've got to get on tape. Bill here bringing you a first. A city kid sitting on a nest of duck eggs.
George, why are you sitting on a nest of duck eggs?
It looks like he's trying to keep Dumpling's eggs warm.
Wow!
I don't believe it. A duck is hatching right before my very eyes. On camera.
Mr. and Mrs. Rankins, you don't want to miss this. Your ducks are hatching.
We'll be right there.